Hi everyone. Today in this episode, actually, I'm going to share with you something about generation gap. It's a quite common thing that we all come across, or we all know, we all hear that there is something like generation gap. This gap is between our parents and ourselves, and between us and our children. Okay, so this is a gap. That is, if here stand my parents, I am here. If I am here, my children are here. So there is a gap between us, between two generations. That is called generation gap in very easy terms, common terms, that we all are aware of these terms actually. So generation gap is actually a gap that comprises of more than one aspect. Okay, it's a gap between ages. That is, if we think about our parents and ourselves, they are one generation older than us. Okay, and if we think about us and our children, again the same thing happens. Okay, our children came to the world after us. Okay, so there is a gap of time. Okay, that we came before and our children came later, or our parents came before and we came after, like that only. Okay, so this is a gap of time, in fact practically gap of age, uh, and at the same time simultaneously gap of thinking process, gap of our attitude. Okay, all these things. So more than one aspects actually come together to give us these terms generation gap. Now, what can be some possible reasons of generation gap? We should know the reasons at first, I think, before going to try to minimize this gap. Am I right? We all have a very busy schedule. Mostly in most of the families, we see that both parents are working, and that is why they fail to give time to their children. Okay, so this way they fail to know exactly what their children are doing. Okay, no doubt their children are studying in good schools, doing good, and showing good results also, for example, but yet there remains some gap between them and their children. Why it happens? Because of lack of time. Okay, so here one thing for the parents, at first I would like to say, like, they are busy for some work, definitely, for some meeting, for some touring, or for job, business, whatsoever. Okay, they are busy for that, and those activities are scheduled. Okay, that I have to do this at this time, I have to do that at that time. Okay, at the same time, that schedule should include some time for children also. Okay, and on a regular basis the parents should give some time, at least 1 hour, 1.5 hour, like that, to children, to their children. Okay, and during that 1 or 1.5 hour, what should they do? Actually, here comes the need to develop a friendly relationship with your children. Okay, now you may ask me that being a father or being a mother, being a parent, in fact, how can I be a friend? So here also we can be friends, like, if we share some time together, so many things will come up. We shall definitely talk to our children, they will talk to us. Okay, then what will happen? We will share something, they will share something, and that way gap will get reduced. Okay, another point is that one simple example in this regard I would like to cite, that for example, in the evening you are willing to watch the news and your child is willing to watch the cartoon. Okay, so for one day, or for some time, you can do this, that you can also watch the cartoon along with him. It's not like he is watching the cartoon and so you will leave the room. No, sit with your child and watch the cartoon. because watching cartoon, it may happen that you may not like watching cartoon, but the thing is that watching cartoon will not harm you also at the same time. Just you will think that you are wasting your time, but other than that it will not harm you. Okay, so in that case you can come one step forward, okay, to sit with your child and watch that cartoon. Okay, and after some time again you can switch to your news, and your child will also definitely think of sitting with you. Okay, gradually gap will get reduced. You may go for outing also, like watching some movies and going to park or something, some outing, some picnic like that. Okay, that way also that gap will get reduced to a large extent. Again, when to start being a friend, that's another point, because since the early childhood of the child, you are a parent or you are parents of that child, and you taught so many things, you did so many things for the child's betterment, for upbringing the child and all. So what will happen that most of the time you became like ruler or administrator to some extent, like don't do this, don't go there, you will fall down. Okay, like that also you did, because you had to do, so you did. Okay, now since the child is approaching adolescence now, that is almost 10 to 11 years of age, uh, start being little bit flexible with that child. Okay, uh, so that there doesn't arise any gap between you and your children. What will happen then? If you share some jokes, you crack some jokes with him also, he will also crack another joke with you. Okay, gradually you both will become like friends, and so you will be aware of what your child is going to do, what your child is discussing with his or her friend, like that. Okay, and it's very important for you to be aware of all these things. Okay, because days are ever changing, society is ever changing, so you never know with what type of things your child gets exposed to outside your eyes. Okay, because at home you will give him one certain type of environment like that, but outside your home, outside the house, in a school or in a playground or in coaching center, he or she will become friends with so many other children. Okay, and all other children come up with different value systems, different attitudes, different thinkings, inherited from their families or received from their families. Okay, so all these things your child will get to know. So definitely you need to know, being a parent, we need to know that what is going on in my child's mind. Okay, or what are the friends that he or she is keeping. Okay, who are those friends, like that. So in that case it will happen that if we see sometimes that our children is not thinking of doing something good, then we can tell him or her that I think it's not good, it will not be good. Definitely question will come, why are you thinking so? Then it's not like I say it's not good, so it's not good, don't do it. No, not like that. I think it's not good because this is the reason, because number one, this is the reason, again it may happen like that, again this thing may happen, and all these things. So you can explain the reasons, give your reasons. With reasons it will be easy for the child to understand why you asked him not to do. So giving reasons is very much important. If without giving reason we just throw it to them that don't do this because I say don't do this, so you shouldn't do this, then definitely he or she will take resort to some other companion also. Okay, for discussing all these things, and will start talking to you less or something like that, all these things. Or will start to hide things from you, again that will create another difficulty. Okay, So it's better for you to give reasons why you think it shouldn't be done. Okay. Again, after that, we can tell our child that I think this is not good for all these reasons, but yet you think your way. What do you think? Then definitely that child will express his mind to you that I am thinking of doing so, or I am thinking of not doing so. Okay. And in most cases it's seen that if we are able to explain to the child quite well that why you shouldn't do this or why you should do this, then mostly the child is seen not taking any wrong step. When the child is growing up, he or she is attaining adolescence, or we give some separate room for his sleeping, or we even arrange for some study room also, so that the child doesn't get disturbed while studying. But allowing him or her to study in a separate study room so that no disturbance takes place, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be aware of what the child is doing inside the room. Okay, we need to be aware of that. For that thing, a simple thing we can do, that the child is studying in that room, and the door may be kept open. Okay. Now for the children, that I would like to say, uh, we need to think it that way, that our parents did so much for us, they took much pain for us to bring us up, to teach us so many things, and to correct us in every minute mistakes in our early childhood or in our childhood. Okay. So for all these things we need to be grateful actually, and that is why we also need to give some time to them. Okay. Like one small example, if my father wants to send a message to someone through his mobile phone and ask me that please teach me how to write a message, or and how to send a message to such a to so and so person, like that, then in some cases it will happen that the child will say, okay, give me the mobile, I'll send the message, tell me whom to send. Okay. And in some other cases, what will happen, that child will sit with his father, and that child will explain to his father that how to write a message, and how to send to a particular person. So in this aspect, the second child that who is sitting near his father and teaching his father how to send a message, how to write a message, that is correct, because by saying that I'll send the message, give me your phone, by doing that actually we are not giving time to our father, and we don't want to take pain to teach him how to write a message, while once he took pain to teach us so many things. That is why it is a responsibility on our part as children that we need to give time to our parents also. Okay. And if we share a good healthy relationship and a friendly relationship, of course, then what will happen, our parents will also understand where I may face difficulty, and we will think where our parents may face difficulty. Again, if someday, for example, my mother says that today there is a birthday party in our neighborhood, so you please come with me, you please accompany me, let's go together. Okay. And for example, I don't like attending all these birthday parties and all these things in huge gatherings and all. For example, I don't like. Okay. Then too, I need to think in such a way that going and attending a birthday party with my mother, it will not harm me. Okay, I don't like it, it's another point, but going and attending a birthday party will not harm me too much. So in that case, I should accompany my mother, if that thing is not drastically harmful for us. Okay. This way generation gap will get reduced. Yet I would like to say that to start with, the parents can come forward. Why? One big why will come here. Why? Because the children from their childhood, early childhood, in fact, infanthood, they have seen their parents in a role of a administrator. Like, don't do this, don't go there, you will fall down. All don'ts and all these things we have heard. So it becomes little bit difficult for the children to open up at first. So if the parents start opening up, the children will automatically get open up. But this process of opening up and behaving little flexibly, little friendly with children, this should start at the age when your child is approaching adolescence, like around 10 to 11 years, so that they feel free to discuss everything with us, and they feel free to think that our mother, our father, they are our friends, and they are our best friends. And another point is that electronic medias and gadgets. Okay, what happens that in a very tender age these days, children know so many things about the electronic gadgets and how to use all those things, but their parents fail to know so many things. So in that case, the parents can also try to be little aware of what is going on around them, or how to use a particular gadget on this. Okay, that thing also they can learn from their children. It's not like I am a father or I am a mother, why to learn from my children? No, we can learn so many things from them. The way they learn so many things by imitating us, by looking at us, by listening to us, similarly we can also learn so many things from them. This way this generation gap will get reduced. And what will happen, like if we develop this type of attitude towards our parents, then with this type of attitude in our mind, we will definitely upbring our children. Okay, then generation gap between us and our children will automatically be less. Okay, then it will again be very much easier for us to get adjusted with that generation gap with ourselves and our children. So it always has a positive impact if we both come forward. It's much like one thing, like for example, I am here and one of my friend lives in a distant place. So what will happen? I can't go to her place, or she can't come to my place. In that case, what do we do generally? We decide one midpoint. I also travel that much to reach that midpoint. She will also travel that much distance to reach that midpoint. Okay, and in that midpoint we both meet. Okay, for example, some outing or some picnic or whatsoever. Okay, so this effort to reduce this generation gap is much like that midpoint where I meet with my friend. Understood? So that way we can try, and definitely it helps in reducing the generation gap to a large extent. So I think this video will help you a lot in understanding the idea of generation gap, and what we can do and what we shouldn't do actually in order to reduce the generation gap. So kindly write your valuable comments in the comment box regarding how this video is helpful for you, or how you or if you like this video. Thank you so much.